Good evening and welcome to my case study, Module 12 for EDL 854. The title of this case study is The Budget Debacle. I'm going to start with Section 1 where I summarize the case. I am the principal at Briardale Elementary School. I have a new parent representative for our foundation. The foundation raises money each year for our school's supplemental curriculum needs, and Briardale is one of 6 elementaries in our town. We currently have 600 students, K through 5, and this year our president, Mr. Barley, is new to our foundation. He is a parent within the school district. He is also a Harvard grad. He is a fraternity brother. He is just competitive in nature, and that has led him to put it upon himself to challenge himself to make the most money during this event that any other Briardale Foundation has ever raised. And he is going to do that with a cash raffle. But the night of the raffle, Mr. Barley was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor and gambling crime. The stunt landed our school, Briardale, on the front page of the newspaper and could possibly lead to our foundation not having money for the upcoming year. I'm going to report the facts. What has happened? Mr. Barley, head of Briardale Foundation, has organized and gone through with an illegal fundraiser at Briardale Elementary. Mr. Santos, myself, the school principal, has overlooked illegal fundraisers at Briardale, and Mr. Barley is in trouble now. Where did this happen? And the events took place in the evening at Briardale Elementary, the evening of the fundraiser. Who is or might be involved or concerned in the situation? Myself, as the principal, I am in charge of overseeing all the foundation fundraisers, and I disregarded what was going on and didn't delve into what exactly the fundraiser was, and I may have overlooked the fundraiser and gotten our school into some legal repercussions. Mr. Barley, the foundation president, has made what I believe is an honest mistake. He is, like I said, competitive in nature and just trying to raise the most money that Briardale has ever raised, and this has led him to organize an illegal fundraiser that I think was without his knowledge. Section number 2, where we report any legal or ethical issues. Has anyone been harmed? And no one has been physically harmed in any way. Does the action or the situation contravene an existing law? And the answer is yes. Cash raffles cannot be conducted by nonprofit organizations such as school. Raffles can be done in Kansas, but cash cannot be given as one of the prizes. And the money allotted for prizes has to be at a reasonable amount. Like a brand new car probably could not be given away for this raffle. Was there a breach of contract? And I said no, likely because Mr. Barley was not a teacher at Briardale Elementary. Therefore, he does not have any contracts with the school. But going forward, I do believe that the foundation should be chaired by a school employee to possibly deter something like this from happening in the future, because employees do indeed have a contract, and so from this point forward, hopefully it will be in the contract. Section 3, synthesize exactly what is happening in one sentence. As a principal, I have overlooked the fundraiser consisting of a cash raffle. The raffle was organized by our foundation president, Mr. Barley, a parent at Briardale. The sheriff arrived at our fundraiser event and took Mr. Barley into custody, and he was convicted of a misdemeanor for organizing a raffle for cash event. Section 4, synthesize the facts. Okay, the people that we know are involved is the foundation president, Mr. Barley. He is a male, he's a fraternity member, Harvard grad, parent, very competitive. Myself, Mr. Santos. The unknowns is how many years I have been a principal. Is this my first year being a principal? Have I ever had a mentor? Did I go through that mentorship? And was a fundraiser ever conducted during my mentorship? Those are things that I don't know. I don't know also if there's a race or his race. I don't know his race. The place is at school at Briardale Elementary. We are a diverse community. We have 600 students, K through 5, and we are one of 6 elementary students. The unknown is, does the district have a policy for fundraising? How clearly is the policy stated? Is it in our master handbook? Have teachers been given any sort of communication about this policy? Are the foundation presidents and members, are they educated in our policy? Those are things that I'm going to assume that no, we do not have a policy in place, but it is an unknown. The program is, the foundation is for fundraising supplementary curriculum needs. I don't know what curriculum is being used, and I don't know if our test scores are good, if our test scores are bad. Maybe our test scores are among the lowest in the state or the district, and we're trying to do everything we can to supplement those curriculum needs by this fundraiser. I don't know those things. Section 5, review and prioritize information. Could the conflict, the situation, or the decision be damaging to stakeholders in the community? Absolutely. Anytime that any negative news is brought about a school, it can tarnish the reputation of the school and sometimes even the entire community. So definitely, yes, the community and the stakeholders are probably very embarrassed by this negative publicity. Have all the relevant stakeholders been consulted? I think the superintendent needs to be notified of the illegal action that has happened. And then following the chain of command, if the superintendent thinks that our district attorney should be notified, then that would be the next step. What individuals and groups have an important stake in the outcome? District superintendent, district attorney, and the foundation board, I think, all need to be in constant communication about this illegal action that just took place. Can I learn more about the situation? First and foremost, I need to know, are there any district fundraising policies? What steps does the principal follow to ensure that the parent group complies with the law? And who is responsible for auditing the foundation funds to assure that the accounted money is being allocated appropriately to where it needs to go? So I kind of need to learn a little bit more about this situation, but I do think that I had enough information to make a decision. Section 6 is identify options and possible consequences. Option 1 is do not do anything, do not take action, and just move forward and sweep everything under the rug. Option 2 is, as the principal, I will take responsibility for what happened because I want to admit that I was not diligent enough in my job overseeing the foundation, and I absolutely missed an illegal fundraiser that was happening in my school that I should have known about and that I should have stopped before it actually went into fruition. Option 2 also encompasses working with the district to ensure this kind of event does not happen again, looking over our fundraising policy and make additions to the policy that are clear and stated clearly, and the principals can use when they go forward to monitoring fundraising events. Option 3 is to replace Mr. Barley as the foundation president and work with our attorneys to figure out what to do with the money, because money has been raised and money has been collected. So where does this money go? And option 3 is the principal not taking any responsibility for what happened, rather just replacing the foundation and kind of going forward from there. I am going to evaluate my options in section 7. Do nothing, option number 1. The pros to that are it's the easy way out and no decision will be made, so we'll just move on. Some negative things that could come with that is our community and stakeholders are obviously embarrassed. Legal action may take place against Briardale Elementary. Our name is all over the newspaper, tarnished. Nothing good can come from this. Our policy will also never be looked at or changed to prevent this in the future if we go with option number 1. Option number 2 is the principal taking responsibility. The pro could be I would be acting as a responsible, ethical, and accountable steward of our school. I will be setting a good example, saying, I made a mistake, I need to fix this. And then our district policy will be looked at to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Some things that could be hard for me to swallow is it's hard to admit defeat and wrongdoing, but I do believe that to be a good steward of the school, I do need to ethically come forward and say, I missed this, and I am very sorry, and I will fix it. Option 3 is find a new foundation president, replacing Mr. Barley. At this point, if I choose this option, then myself as the principal, don't have a bad name. I don't have to come forward and admit that I did anything wrong. But with that comes a new president, this could just happen again if the policy isn't ever looked at. And the foundation isn't aware of the illegal action. And so the next fundraiser that we do could be illegal also. At this point, I am going to choose the best option, and the best option in this scenario, I think, is to be option number 2. This allows for the principal to stand up, make a responsible and an ethical decision, and take responsibility for what happened. As the school principal, I need to prevent this from ever happening again, and I will do that by working with the district administrators to ensure our district policy is legal and communicated clearly to all stakeholders, employees, and foundation members. I think it's really important to pull in those foundation members and make sure that they know the policy and what it clearly states. And like I stated before, I think that the foundation president or the chairman needs to be employed by the district and not just some parent who has high expectations and comes in and follows through with something that may or may not be illegal. I think that this option 2 also allows the district to create a flow chart for administrators to use when fundraising happens to ensure that the fundraiser abides by all the rules and the regulations. I think a flow chart is something that principals can easily follow with any fundraiser, whether it be selling t-shirts or a cash raffle or selling beef sticks or selling smelly pencils, anything big to small, making 25 cents to profiting $25. If a flow chart is in place where the principal can just simply say, answer these questions, is cash collected, yes or no, who is in charge of this, and just working through that flow chart can kind of clear up any muddy water that may come with fundraising. And then the last part of this option is an audit of the funds needs to be added to the policy to ensure that an audit is happening and it is done with fidelity, making certain that the funds are accounted for and they are going to the appropriate places where they need to go. Imagine implementing your decision. Choosing my path, there's a couple things that need to happen first. And I need to first contact the superintendent and tell him that I was wrong and that I admit negligence overseeing this fundraiser that happened. If he thinks that we need to seek legal counsel to help Mr. Barley at Briardale Elementary clear up any legal action, we may or may not be able to do that at this point. And then meet with the district leadership team and administrators to review the fundraising policies going forward. And then communicating that is absolutely key from this point forward with everybody involved, the foundation members, the foundation president, the employees of the school district, the administration team, the district leadership team. Everybody needs to be on the same page and just over communicate about this issue. Think about what may happen. Hopefully the legal issues can be taken care of. Money can be either returned to the people who bought the tickets. Working with our district leaders, we could come up with ways, other resources that are available outside of our allocated budget funds to meet those curriculum demands. And likely the policy will be changed. Hopefully a flowchart will be made for administrators to follow, and an audit of the funds will be added to the policy also. The identified individuals who need to know about this are the administration, or the superintendent, administration, teachers, board members, foundation members, and the community. Determine if you can deal with this on your own. I don't think that I should deal with this on my own. I think I need to go to the superintendent first, and then since this issue did break the law, our district attorney will probably need to be involved. Warn, don't threaten. I think there are responsibilities that the principals need to have. They need to have clear knowledge of the laws, the policies, and the district needs, and they need to be laid out clearly. And obviously in this situation, I was not aware of that. So that's what put us in this budget debacle to begin with. Principals need to feel supported. I will take ownership. I will apologize, but we also need to move on from there, and we need to reflect and have discussions on how this will not happen and what we can do to prevent this from happening in the future. And I think that comes from over communicating about this and professional development when it comes to our master handbook policy and going forward with fundraising. Think about what you might do next if the chosen plan of action does not work. If amendments are not made to the policy and there is no more fundraising, the fundraising policy doesn't exist, and nobody takes me serious on making amendments to the policy, I think I could contact my attorney or even go to board members and advocate and really plead my case for clear policies to be made. Program standard integration. This is operations and management PLO 6 and CLO 6.2. And this is where I stated what was in each one of the standards with my highlighted terms and my references. Thank you very much for listening to my case study.